Hello, everyone. I am Amy from the Creativity Matters podcast, and I am here with just a short time lapse. I know we are getting ready to go into a new month, into October. I am going to be shifting into drawing for Inktober, but I'm going to be using a portrait set of prompts, hashtag inktoportraits, and I'm excited about that. But it means shifting out of my illustrated journal a little bit, hoping I can manage to do both. But it is a little bit complicated, a little convoluted, because normally my portraits go into that journal spread, and separating them out, it's a little bit different. It's going to leave the illustrated journal part a little bit lonely. But I have a quick time lapse here that shows two different things. These are pages I worked on, at least a month ago. Has taken me forever to actually bring it to this point. But I think it's sometimes interesting just to watch how something simple develops. Something simple. Because what we do that is simple is partly what is so important about our creativity. The simple things. In this case, I was working on a self-portrait, which I do every week, typically on a Saturday. It's something I started during my 50 before 50 year, and I've continued. Done self-portraits through the years, but now I do it once a week. And I put it in the middle of a page. In this case, I was starting a new page, and next to it, I was lettering something in, and that takes time, and it's mindful, it's satisfying. I had been looking at the portrait thinking, why do these portraits never look like me? And why do they look so, I don't know, hardened and weary and resigned? If it was somebody else and I had the same picture, would it look different when I drew it? So that's what I had been thinking about when I was writing this in on the side. Because I think that sometimes when we are drawing ourselves, something different comes through. And I wonder about these things. If I didn't know who the person was in the photo, would the end result be different? I went on at the bottom of this page. Under the portrait, I actually drew a recipe. You can see a little bit of that above my hands. And then a flower. These pages hold all kinds of things, whatever feels right in the moment, whatever feels relaxing or interesting or fun. And after drawing this black and white flower, I was inking in the background with simple hatching, but using a color that was new to me, and I was so excited about it. I still love it. I love seeing how it lays down color and how vivid it is. And now I've shifted to another page, and this page, it has a more chaotic feel. You can see there's a lot more going on. There is a recipe up at the top and some notes, but then I had done this large portrait on this page and spent time inking it in. I was excited about this portrait. I really love it. I think it's such a cool photo. It's got a very manga or anime feel to it, to the actual inspiration portrait from Sketchy. And it was a fun one to ink. There's a lot of hair. I do the hair typically last. So you can see I was working on inking in the penciled sketch I had done. So the facial features and the lips. The eyes have already taken shape, so you can see them staring out at you from the page, and I always love that. And then I've started in here on the hair, and I find that to be such a rhythmic and such a satisfying process. It does take a while sometimes, depending on how much hair, and sometimes I take a finer approach to it than others. Sometimes I'm really going for a really light touch or really fine lines, and sometimes I let it be a little more bold and a little faster. And I do stop sometimes and erase some of those lines to clear out some of the marks. There's a lot of smudging sometimes that goes along with the pencil, and it gives a dingy touch to your page, and you can see it disappear as you erase, which is a really fascinating part of this. So you can see I continued to work on this hair, a lot of hair, and yet as the pieces darken in, you can see her really take shape and her personality start to come through even more. Going back in and darkening sections, bringing some of that detail out, that's part of the process. So for Inktober, I'll be working on portraits like many of you, and they probably won't be this big, although I like to work this big. I think my preferred approach is somewhere in the neighborhood of this big. So I'll be working smaller. Last year I worked in a gridded page, and I don't know if I want to work quite that small. I just don't know. But I am excited. I do have a prompt set, and I am looking forward to it. I don't usually even use prompts. I seem to be shifting a little bit. Maybe it's this year, maybe it's the pandemic, maybe it's 2020 in general. I don't know, but a little bit of scaffolding I think sounds like a good thing. So I hope that you are gearing up for October and for drawing that you will enjoy. I hope you will consider sharing your work and maybe following at Instagram, Oh Amy, or checking out the podcast, Creativity Matters Podcast. Have fun and remember that creativity matters in whatever form it takes for you.